Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to another video of MS Life 22. I'm trying not to be weird.
I know it's difficult.
Yes.
But...
So what we're talking tonight is diagnostic testing. So after we saw the primary care physician, after she saw the primary care physician back in July, she ordered a brain MRI. And the good news is they found one.
Found what? A brain?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So the bad news is they actually found something on the brain, which was a tiny white spot, which I'll show you right here.
Well, lots of tiny ones are normal, but there were a couple large ones that were concerning.
Yes.
Were of concern.
The biggest one was 7 millimeters, so it's still pretty small. But she's right. Some tiny ones, and then the one bigger 7 millimeter spot, which you just saw. So after that, we went to see the neurologist, and she wanted to get a couple more MRIs, one of the cervical spine and one of the thoracic spine. So we got that done. The thoracic spine was clear, nothing.
No lesions.
Just no lesions, everything's clear. The cervical spine had a short segment lesion at the level of C3-4, which we'll show you right here.
Yeah, that. What you just said.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, it's well, you can see that lighter spot on the MRI. That's where the demyelination occurred in the cervical spine. It also, and I think she's more mad about this, it showed that she might have a little arthritis in her neck. Which, if you know Linda, she's immune to arthritis. So
You bet.
So correlating the brain MRI with the cervical spine MRI was a pretty strong indicator that the doctor thought that there was a demyelinating process going on. But she wanted to do something else.
Wait, did you talk about the blood work?
I'm getting there.
Oh, well, yeah, okay.
So we also had some blood work at the same time as the MRIs. The one that sticks out to me is the vitamin D. So the MS Society says that anything below 40 on vitamin D is considered at risk for having some kind of demyelinating event. Hers was 39. So it's still within the normal range, but it's on the really low end of the normal range. And like I said, it does put her at risk for demyelination. So the research shows that most people who have MS or these kind of neurological things are low on the vitamin D. Nothing else in the blood work really stood out too awful much. Is that right? Some elevated white cell counts.
Oh, is that when they got the Lyme disease possible?
Oh yeah, Lyme disease. So she also did a Lyme titer. The bacteria for the Lyme disease is the Borrelia burgdorferi.
Big word.
So to our knowledge, she's not been bit by a tick since she was like 13. Never had any of the symptoms of Lyme disease, the rash or anything like that. But the blood counts did come back showing probable antibodies for this disease. Now, what's significant about that is that there is beginning to be more and more correlation of Lyme disease and MS in the research. So in addition to the MRIs and the blood work, she had a lumbar puncture, or some of you might know it as a spinal tap. You can insert your heavy metal here if you like. So a couple of highlights on that. Back to the Lyme disease. So we talked about the blood work indicative of antibodies, but the CSF was negative for Lyme disease, so which was good news.
Yeah.
Probably a false positive on the blood work side. A couple highlights of the cerebral spinal fluid results. CSF. The myelin basic protein registered at 3.48, and less than 4 is considered normal. 4 to 8 indicates chronic, and greater than 9 indicates active. So at some point it had been higher when it was active, but it's come down into a more normal range at this point, but still on the higher end of normal. The CSF index, I have no idea what that is, but it came in at 1.3 and should be less than 0.85. The oligoclonal banding came in at 4, should be 1 or less. Now, the CSF index on its own if it's high, is 80% sensitive to being MS. The
Okay.
oligoclonal banding, if it's high on its own, is 80% sensitive for MS. Put them together. 90% sensitive for MS. So when those two came back, both on the high side, it was pretty much a given at that point that she was going to give Linda an MS diagnosis. A couple other things in the CSF. The CSF white count was 12, so a little high. Normal is 5, less than 5. And the protein in the CSF was on the high end at 55. So that was a brief overview of the diagnostic testing that took place. If anybody has any questions, by all means, reach out. We'll be happy to answer any questions. With what the process was, the hardest part really was what?
The weight?
The weight. Yeah, the MRI came back pretty quick.
All the
The
CSF.
CSF test took a couple of weeks to come back. So we were kind of stuck in no man's land at that point, waiting for confirmation. We already kind of knew which way to go or which way it was going, but we were waiting for confirmation. So
Wasn't real until the doctor told me it was
yes, yes. So that's it for tonight. Next up, so where we're at right now is we are going through the process of finding the right medication. So that is the next video. Will be our research on the 3 different types of medication that the doctor ordered or wanted to try, and we'll go from there.